Everyone loves talking about productivity. People love to boast about how much work or how long they can work for in a day. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours. I've seen it all on productivity YouTube. It seems kind of toxic and excessive because the people who are just entering the space might actually feel inferior. Productivity is not the art of just staying busy all the time. To me, it's being able to prioritize and pick the right things to do. That's the secret. This realization was possible after all the time I've spent looking through research studies, productivity books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and experimenting with these techniques firsthand, and then seeing my own friends and family just burn out from just trying to stay busy all the time. I know you are going to love this video, so be sure to subscribe so you can join this wonderful community that we got going on here. Now you might be asking yourself, why the hell would I be listening to some dude just yelling at a camera in his room? I'll keep it real with you and talk about what I've been able to accomplish using these same principles that are going to be discussed in this video. As most of you know, I'm in med school, which is crazy busy enough, but I also managed to create this personal brand with about 250,000 of followers across all platforms. And I also recently just joined this app called Calendar Buddy, which I became a strategic partner for, which you're going to be hearing a lot more about in future videos. I even sought out and secured many research opportunities in the fields of medicine that I am personally interested in. I'm always auditioning for commercials, TV roles, or voiceovers, and have actually been in commercials for Cracker Barrel, Cisco, Dollar Shave Club, Aldi, Aspen Dental, and I was actually even in Chicago PD. I'm not saying all this stuff to brag and say, look at me, look at how much I've done. And even myself, I hate boasting about my numbers or my accomplishments, but I say all this stuff to provide some kind of substantial proof that you can decide what you want to do with your time, and you can pretty much do whatever you want if you make the time for it. So let's talk about some key points that I believe are the secrets to being productive. Please stay tuned until the end of this video because I'm going to give you first access to my productivity masterclass. And yes, it is free. The first secret is changing your mindset about time. Before we get into the tips and tricks, it's important to shift your mindset about time itself. Think about it. People like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos all have the same amount of time in a day as you and me. Now, I'm not saying we need to become just like them, but they probably didn't become huge successes by doing the wrong things and getting distracted, right? You need to first realize that your own time is in your control and you can use it the way you want to use it. I feel really bad for people who say they want to do something, but they say they don't have time for things like exercising or starting a side hustle or even meditating. What they actually mean by this is that they don't want to make the time that could potentially change their lives. Do not define your life by saying that you don't have time or that you're too busy, because the minute you think that, the minute you say that into the outside world, that stuff becomes a reality. Instead, you should start asking yourself, how can I make the time? Can I study the same amount of content in less time? Can I combine tasks and get them done all at once? Is binge watching season 3 of You getting in the way of doing more productive things? Change your perspective of time, and I guarantee you won't believe what's possible. All right, let's talk about to-do lists. Everyone hears about the top productivity gurus talking about if you don't write it down, it probably won't happen. Now, this is partially true, but what I've seen is that people don't understand their own abilities and then they don't let themselves be human, so they write too much on their to-do list, which overwhelms them. And because of this, they have too many things on their to-do list and they don't end up getting most of it, if not any of it done, which can cause a vicious cycle of emotions, making you feel worse about yourself, making you feel guilty. A better way to create a to-do list is to separate it into 3 categories: urgent, maybe, and projects. Now, the stuff on the urgent list, obviously, those are the things that you should do first on any given day that you make your to-do list. But let's just say you wrote 10 different things on your urgent to-do list. So instead of just looking at all of them and trying to do all of them once, you're gonna prioritize the top 3, the most important 3 things you need to get done that day. Then no matter what else happens, you need to get those 3 things done. Now, get those done first, starting with number 1. Do not finish and move on to number 2 until you get number 1 done. And then you realize stuff like emails, messaging, or organizing and stuff like that, those things are not as high priority as these things. Also, on your to-do list, you wanna make sure that you're exactly detailing out what you need to do. Don't be very vague in your to-do list, make it very specific. And of course, give yourself some grace and understand that things will change and you might need to adapt your to-do list. You might not get as much done, and And part of being productive is being adaptable, which we're gonna talk about in the next section, which is creating an effective yet sustainable schedule. Scheduling your life. You know I love schedules. I love teaching students who weren't really taught on how to create a good routine for themselves. That's why I created study schedules and posted them on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, and now I've created my own website which are full of study schedules for all types of students. But the reason why you want to schedule everything that's important is because this reduces decision fatigue, which basically means that all the mental energy you expend trying to figure out what to do next, that's taken out of the equation. There's less time spent on that and you can just move on to the next thing. Since everything is really organized into a convenient place, you can relax about if you're doing enough, if you're doing the right things. And when I say schedule everything, I mean schedule everything. Meals, exercise, study time, leisure time. So what can you use to schedule? I like using Google Calendar or even a written planner. Digital-based calendars are really nifty and handy because you can carry them around anywhere and you can modify them as needed. You don't have to worry about scribbling anything out, but find a system that works for you, right? There's no one size fits all when it comes to planning and scheduling. But I do want to say my app Calendar Buddy, which I've just joined, is an AI calendar app that makes productivity really fun and really does help you to plan your day. It's a free app that is available to anyone out there. And I'm really excited to see where this app goes and what you might have to say about it. And as I kind of alluded to before, no matter how well you schedule your day or your to-do list, things are bound to go wrong. Things are bound to happen that were out of your control. So you need to learn how to adapt and be resilient. A better way to look at your schedule is kind of like a guide for the day. So in case something happens, it takes a little longer to complete something, you know, you're stuck in traffic for longer, whatever it is, you're really good at adapting your schedule and moving things around. That's why I always suggest like some wiggle room as you're doing activities and tasks. But that's the big secret to being productive, is being able to adapt on a moment's notice. And the last secret to be productive, come here. It's to make time for you. The art of being productive is balance and having fun. One way is to schedule your responsibilities and your study time around your life. Don't be that person who says, I'll see if I can go to the wedding this weekend. It depends on how much I get done or how much I study. I'm not really feeling confident for this exam. Do you really want to be the person who misses a life event just so you can review your notes for a few hours more? And I think people just need to be honest with themselves. If you know a big wedding or a celebration is happening and you're sitting at home studying, how productive is your studying when you know that everyone you care about, all your friends, all your family, are at this wedding or this celebration and they're having the time of their lives while you convince yourself that you had to sit home and study and be a good little student? So when you're creating your schedule, make sure you enter in those big life events, those things that give you motivation, those things that give you energy, and then plan everything else around those events. Don't just wait around and see if you will get enough done so you can have a weekend to yourself. Schedule it ahead of time and get the stuff done.
Oh, just take it easy, man.
When you schedule things and you put deadlines to whatever you need to do, a little healthy pressure goes a long way and will help you get those things done in a fraction of the time. The main reason people feel burnt out is because they're not enjoying what they do, or they feel like they have no control over their lives. And as I've been talking about this entire video, you can fix this and change it. Make sure everything you're doing is on your terms and it's fun and engaging. Like I start my day with self-development activities, and this starts my day off on a good foot. And after I finish my work for the morning, I look forward to a good lunch or a workout or a very funny or insightful YouTube video. So try to build in smaller rewards as well throughout the day. This is really helpful with your productivity. If you really want to improve and just completely change the way you look at productivity, I would recommend you watch my free course on Skillshare. All you gotta do is click the link below to watch it and sign up for your 1 month free trial. If you don't like my courses, if you don't like any of the other courses on Skillshare, then cancel it. There's no charge to you, which is why I love Skillshare. And it's gonna teach you to make time for the things that you love, like watching my YouTube videos. Otherwise, stay tuned for more videos and check out my other helpful videos that I posted onto this channel. Have a good time, y'all.